メッツメンドーサ監督の電撃解任。このショッキングなニュースが大々的に報じられた翌日、エネルギッシュなパフォーマンスでファンを魅了するマスコットキャラクターミスターメットもさすがに意気消沈し、最新状況を報じる現地リポーターの後ろでこの落胆ぶりだ。まずはこのトピックに対するメッツ中心選手や盟友ブーン監督といった現場最前線の反応をお届けしよ
う。It sucks, you know. It's tough to see a guy like that. I mean, I was really close with him. I talked to him a lot, and then get to see him go is really tough. Not much, but you know how much I really appreciate what he did for me, you know, and like he was one of the guys who helped me to feel comfortable in this clubhouse and welcome me in the best way. So I was just thanking him for that.
I was shocked, and you know it hurts. He's a great man. He's a great family man, and somebody that we appreciate and we care for him. And yeah, it was a shocking news, but obviously this is a decision that Stearns and the rest of the organization felt like it was going to be best for the organization at the moment. I've talked to him. He apologized for not helping us win as much, but at the end of the day, this is not on him. It's more on us, the players, that we didn't perform to our capability.
I mean, surprised, I guess, but not surprised. I talked to Mendy. You know, obviously it's a tough situation over there right now with what they've been through this year and even going back to last year. Mendy's in a good place. I think he's really good at what he does. I think he's a great leader that as time goes on, my expectation is that he'll be in line for another job in a lot of different way, shape, and form, and has earned a strong reputation in the industry. And I think even through all this, I think it's solidified that reputation.
You said surprised, but not surprised. Did just timing of it catch you off guard?
I don't know. I mean, it's just always surprising when, like, can I say I'm really surprised that this happened with what they've been through? No, not necessarily, but still, when you hear the news, it catches you. But I think he's a great baseball man. I think he's a really good leader, and I think he's a really good manager that will get another opportunity.
また、この衝撃ニュースには現地メディアやファンからも大きなリアクションが寄せられており、それらも紹介していく。
I was upset. I was angry. I understand, Michelle, when teams perform this poorly for this long, that managers pay the price. I also am smart enough to understand that change just to make a change is not the smartest thing. And I think Carlos Mendoza is an asset to any franchise he's going to be with, and in particular with the New York Mets, based off of what he did. I'm tired of hearing oh, he's a nice man. Oh, he's a nice guy. Who cares? I don't care if he was a nasty guy. I care that he's a good manager and a good fit in New York. He had experience here, being with the Yankees all those years. He had success here in year one after dealing with adversity in 2024. Took them to the NLCS. He's a baseball lifer. He holds guys accountable. Whether you see it or not, he does. So he's everything that you would want in a manager. And because the Mets can't do anything right, they had to come to the conclusion to move on from Carlos Mendoza today. So I think the Mets got worse, and that makes me angry.
Is it Mendy's fault Lindor can't catch? Lindor can't field? His fault Lindor was getting picked off for first base? That's his fault? His fault Bo Bichette can't handle the pressure of New York so far? His fault Clay Holmes got a broken leg? It's his fault for Senga and Minaya and Peterson and Tobias Myers and whatever other guy they're bringing up from the minor leagues to open games? That's his fault? Whose plan is it? Who put this team together? Who's coming up with the lineups and the data and the analytics that Mendy has to follow out there on the field? You know the answer, and I know the answer.
Frank, the Mets fire Carlos Mendoza. Great day, right?
No, it's not. It's a disaster. This team is a disaster. The fact that this didn't happen 2 months ago is a disaster. The fact that they're actually finally putting him out there, ending this misery, is just incredible. I mean, they're committing errors. It's mental plays. They're unprepared to play, and there's been no accountability. It's just been an abject, absolute disaster. I mean, yes, they're the first team ever in baseball to strike out more than 10 batters, not allow an earned run, hit 2 home runs, and lose. They had. I mean, last week against the Phillies, they're down 11-0. Mark Vientos hits a meaningless home run, and he puts on a Spider-Man mask. The team has no awareness.
That's crazy.
And everything's okay with him. He is just like, and the team's not motivated. The team's not doing anything. It's just a joke. And David Stern, he's made a ton of mistakes. The owner, who spoke a big game, first off, Steve Cole needs to come out and address the fans. He needs to come out and address the fans. And Stern with the smug smile, everything's going to be okay. That's got to end. These guys need to really take account of what they've done and the poor roster management and how poorly coached this team is.
最後にこのトピックに対するメッツ美女たちの意見も紹介しよう。
Carlos Mendoza is fired after 2.5 seasons with the New York Mets. The team is on a 6-game losing streak. They're last place in the NL East. They have a 34-47 record right now. They are many games out of first place. It's a bad situation. It's gotten worse. And the Mets needed to do something. This is what they decided to do.
Yeah, I mean, let's address the elephant in the room. I think from a fan standpoint, fans have mixed emotions. I think this was the move that needed to be made, right? You can't have Carlos Mendoza play out the year when the team is performing. I mean, they've lost 5 of 6. They're terrible. They're unwatchable. Like Mets fans, myself included, admittedly, I said to somebody the other day, it's June and I've completely lost attachment to the New York Mets. Like, sure, I'll throw it on, I'll watch. I know what's going on. But like, you've lost that deep, I guess, care and focus for the team because they're so bad. Do you know the Mets right now are on pace to win 68 games? Just let that sink in for a minute.
I mean,
we can debate until the cows come home whether or not this was Carlos Mendoza's fault. I mean, I've seen people say it's like he went to war and he had no weapons to fight the war. To some degree, I agree with that, right? He was thrown into a roster situation this season in particular that turned out to be an abomination. But at the end of the day, you're going to fire the manager if this is the way the team's performing. I mean, I think from a nostalgic piece, like I know, and maybe I'm just speaking for me, but I think there's a contingent of fans who would agree. I wanted Mendoza to be the guy to succeed here, especially after 2024 and what happened there and just the magic that was captured in his first season as manager. You looked at some of those moments and the wild card game and the, winning the NLDS and advancing to the NLCS to play the Dodgers, and you really thought this is the guy for the Mets. This is the guy who's going to take them all the way here in the next few years. Do you know why David Stearns is unlikable despite the very bad baseball team that he's put on the field?
Because he has an accountability problem.
An accountability problem and a humility problem. I want David Stearns. Now let's be clear about something. Today he showed the most he's ever had because it's high time. But I want David Stearns to sit there and fall on his sword. I don't care if that's warranted, if that's good optics. I want David Stearns to sit there and say, we have a shitty baseball team right now, and I made mistakes in the offseason.
Yep.
And we let go of Carlos Mendoza because we had to, and we needed a fresh, change of scenery, refreshment in the clubhouse. But a lot of this is on me. He didn't say that. He's never said that. And when you're in New York and you have an accountability problem, you are not going to get the goodwill of fans. I saw Sal Licata talking on SNY, and I love Sal and his takes. And he started with saying, I'm not even angry. We're so far past the anger stage, which is how I feel. Yeah, I'm angry that it's another lost disaster of a season. But in terms of the emotions I even feel opening up my phone today and seeing Mendoza's gone, we are so far past the anger stage. Call it disappointed, call it apathy at this point for some fans, and that's the most dangerous place to be if you're a sports fan. It's a top to bottom disaster, and I think everybody's in agreement.
There is an issue here with where David Stearns previously was working and where he's working now. I feel like somewhere along the line, he got media trained and he figured out how to skirt around questions, or he'll be asked something very directly and he'll figure out a way to respond concretely, but he's not actually answering the question. In some places, that works, but not in New York City at all. And I think that you have to take your cues from some of the people, whether it's in the sports sphere or not, who are just understanding how the right messaging works. I'm looking at this thing on SNY right now, and the quote legitimately says, "I have not felt we have an accountability problem." And respectfully, that's something that somebody with an accountability problem would say.
Respectfully, David, you're wrong.
Like, that's literally, I can't think of a worse answer than that. Do you know what I mean? He said, "We have an execution problem. We haven't played good enough baseball." The thing is, David Stearns isn't playing baseball. So whether or not he's trying for it to come across this way, it's coming across as blame. I haven't seen him swing a bat once since he arrived. So if you are going to say that we don't have an accountability problem, I don't think that it's going to land well with the fans. I agree with you. Listen, is it all his fault? Maybe not, but I just wish that he could see. If I was somebody who was managing David Stearns right now, or I was a part of his PR team, I would say, I understand that this is going to feel a little non-traditional to you. It's going to feel a little bit outside of your comfort zone. But if you have any shot of the New York Mets fans rallying around you right now, you're going to have to go out there and be honest, like you were talking about this with your wife or your daughter or a fan, not to the whole world. But that's what you had to do here, and this was an opportunity that he missed.
Carlos Mendoza was put in the worst position of all time by David Stearns. Michael Barron tweeted this today, longtime Mets writer, about the exact situation that Mendoza was put in heading into this season. This doesn't even go into losing the Alonso, Nimmo. We won't even get into like the emotional part of it because I don't even have time for that right now. Just bluntly, Carlos Mendoza had been forced to use 5 different first basemen, 4 of which are not first basemen, 6 different third basemen, 5 different shortstops, 11 different left fielders, 4 different center fielders, 7 right fielders through the season's first 81 games. I mean, the entire team is playing out of position. How we and everybody else in the Mets sphere did not identify this as a blaring red flag in January or February, I legitimately have no idea. I mean, we touched on it. We said it's definitely unique, the pieces he's putting together. A lot of guys are going to be expected to play places that they didn't play before. But what on God's earth? This is like a textbook. I said I wasn't going to get angry. Now I'm getting angry. It's a textbook.
No one believed you.
No one believed
Don't worry.
me. This is literally, the New York Mets in 2026 are a textbook example of the reason why baseball and organizations throughout Major League Baseball, it can't be all analytics. It can't. Yes, Moneyball, sabermetric. Okay, great. We're in this new age. We figured out a lot of things. A lot of things have helped. But it can't all be that because that's not the heart and soul of creating a baseball team. You can't just throw every guy out there out of position, strip the fans of the beloved players, franchise guys, and then be like, go get them. Like, it backfired to the utmost degree.
皆さんは今回の面倒さ解任のニュースを聞いてどのような感想を持ちましたか？ぜひコメント欄に書き込んでみてください。高評価やハイプ、チャンネル登録もよろしくお願いします。